Hi there, welcome to Floating in Dreams. Today we are going to be discussing some new makeup releases for October. Welcome to everybody watching today. Thank you so very much for joining me. It's October, it's a new month, it's the first Sunday of the month, which means we're going to have a sit down. Maybe you can grab a cup of tea because this is going to be a long one because I have nearly 50 new makeup releases to chat to you about. As I had predicted, it's fall, all the new Halloween and holiday releases are coming our way. The beauty industry is going into overdrive, so we have a lot to chat about. I'm filming this about a week in advance, so I'm pretty sure there are going to be announcements happening in the next week or so, but I will just be discussing those for you in November because there's already so much good stuff to chat about with you that I didn't want to wait any longer. First things first, this was already announced at the end of July, but I kind of forgot it, I think. I don't know, maybe I missed it. I don't know what happened there. But Charlotte Tilbury has a new mascara. It is the Exaggerize mascara. Apparently the bottle is made of real glass, which is unique for mascara. I have used Charlotte Tilbury mascara in the past, which was okay, but on me, they were a little bit too smudgy and flaky, and it didn't last a long time. I tend to cycle a lot because I'm in the Netherlands. We use our bikes a lot, and it's windy and rainy and whatever. So I need mascara to stick down no matter what I do. So this is not great for me. It is volumizing, which is what I usually love, but Charlotte Tilbury can be quite expensive in terms of mascara, I find, and I tend to stick to drugstore anyway, so this is one I will be skipping, but I think it is a good release for the brand. So MAC announced a limited edition collection with this gold packaging, and is it like a floral design? I'm not sure what the collection is called because it's not in this list. But there are some highlighters and some lipsticks and a gel eyeliner as well. So there are some things here. There is the official MAC holiday range coming up in a second as well. I also saved that one here. This doesn't look like anything that I would need in my life, but if you've never tried MAC, this could be nice. I'm really on a MAC kick at the minute though. Like their regular classic range, I just repurchased some lipsticks purchased and repurchased some lipsticks over the summertime, and I have fallen back in love with my MAC lipsticks. Like hard. I've fallen hard. New from Lisa Eldridge are these new liquid eyeshadows in a matte formula and a new shade in the eyeshadow palette. So the Myth eyeshadow palette was discontinued over the summertime. It went on sale and now we're getting this back. That was what the announcement was when Lisa Eldridge announced her sale, that shades would be discontinued to make place for new things. So the Fawn eyeshadow palette seems to be the thing that has replaced the Myth, and this makes sense. It's a really good neutral palette, which I think the range was missing because everything was colorful, warm toned, or cool toned. So this smack in the middle neutral tone wasn't there yet. The Fawn lipstick, I think, is one of the best sellers for the brand, so it makes sense to name this eyeshadow palette after one of their best-selling lipstick shades. I don't think I will be picking this up because I have too many shades like this in my collection already, and I have the 3 palettes from Lisa Eldridge that I wanted to get, unless the brand comes out with a color story that truly captures my interest. I'm going to be buying it, but this one isn't. Like, it's just a bit meh for me compared to the eyeshadow palette collection I already have. But if you haven't yet and you wanted to try the brand, I think this can be good for a lot of people. I think there are 2 shimmers here. Let me see if I can find a swatch. Yeah, there's a satin, a luster, a luminous shade, 2 mattes, and a velvet shade, which is good. The liquid eyeshadows that are released, these are the Liquid Silk liquid eyeshadows and the Ione, I think that's how you pronounce it in English, is this really nice cool tone mauvey gray, and if it's an actual cool tone on me, I would love to try it. The thing is, I will not be able to try Lisa Eldridge in store anytime soon. I don't have any trips planned to a place where I could easily test these products. And I would want to test these on the back of my hand at least to be able to see what the color is like, because online it can just be super difficult to tell. But yeah, that matte cool tone mauvey gray looks right up my street, and I would like to test it out just to see how it goes. I do enjoy the liquid Lurex, which are the shimmer version of these eyeshadows, and I think they're really good. However, I have also found more affordable brands that do very similar things that I think are just as good, so I don't think you need to spend this amount of money on a liquid eyeshadow. However, these are also recommended to be used as bases underneath eyeshadow. So these can be perhaps a little bit more versatile. You can wear them as is if you like a very simple eye. I think it can work. It is a very warm, heavy leaning collection though. So if you like warm tones, you're probably going to find something. And I feel that cool tone almost stands out like a sore thumb, but I like the look of that one for sure. I'm not going to buy it anytime soon though. Then this is a roundup of several brands in this overlay from Trend Mood. It has some Dior in, it has Laura Mercier in, it has Clé de Peau in, and Lancôme. So all these brands are of course coming out with their Christmas editions. I stopped buying limited edition Christmas makeup for a while now. Only if something truly, truly stands out will I buy it. I did buy some of the limited edition Dior stuff in the past couple of years. Like I bought one of their Christmas releases, but it was never like these ones. Like these seem to be the especially made for Christmas kind of things, which I'm just not a huge fan of. If it's especially made for holiday and it doesn't come in the classic packaging that they already do and it looks like it could be seamless within the range, it's probably not going to be the same quality as the brand usually offers. That is my experience with a lot of different brands, that the things they release for holiday, this is no secret, this is what a lot of people will be able to tell you, aren't the same as the thing the brand usually does. So I would rather put my money towards an actual Dior quad, like the one I'm wearing on my eyes today. Actually, I'm wearing Dior Smoky Essentials on my lids, and it's only the first look I've done, but it's definitely not as smoky as I had expected. Not sure how I feel about it yet. But I would much rather put my money towards something that I can get all the time, especially with brands that are more luxury like these ones are. They're going to be expensive. Their price range is going to be more expensive. You could ask this, I think, as a gift for Christmas, but I definitely think it's better to ask for something from the regular range because you will just get more bang for your buck, I think. Then Celine, I think this was already announced a couple of months ago, maybe about a year ago. We got the news that Celine would be launching a makeup line, and it seems to be happening. This is what it looks like. There seems to be like a powder and a blush, a nail polish, and maybe some lipstick. Yes, satin lipsticks. And there is mascara and eyeliner. So this is what the brand now looks like. The branding on it looks fine. I don't think I will be picking any of this up. It's sort of like how I feel about like Valentino and Gucci. Like I've tried some of these more luxury things, but only if it stands out to me, and nothing here stands out to me and screams buy me to me. It apparently is going to take a while for these products to become available. Some of it will be available as of this month. Most of the line is going to be available from January. So this is a very early announcement. Then we have Hindash. This is the new glow highlighter. I think Hindash is one of the brands where I feel like products are being added to the range really slowly at a pace we used to see, rather than this like chop, 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 like makeup release after makeup release we've been seeing for brands lately. So I appreciate that. But none of these shades look like I would want to buy them. There is a very pretty sort of white highlighter, which they've also put on the skin of this very light model. But it just seems to be a champagne. I was hoping that maybe it would have like a bit of a purple reflect, but it doesn't seem to. So for me, I think I will be passing it up. It looks stunning. I think it's a good release for the brand, but not for me. Anna Sui has a collab with Hello Kitty. I think Hello Kitty comes back as an IP in makeup every once in a while. They have collabed with so many different brands. So if you're a Hello Kitty fan, know that this is around. I don't necessarily need it. I don't buy a lot of IP related makeup because it's very often not right for me. It goes with the IP. It's not right for my skin tone. If it's something that goes with my skin tone, it's not the IP I like. So for me, this is a skip, but if you're a Hello Kitty fan, you might like it. It seems like Elf is coming out with an advent calendar. If it's not out already, this was pushed to me as a ad. So I'm not sure what's going on there because it's also pushing some other Elf products. And actually one of the things it pushed the other day was the Celestial Winter eyeshadow palette, which was a surprise to me because that wasn't around for most of the year. So that has me wondering, will it come back for Christmas yet again? Will it be the third year in a row that Elf silently brings back this really cool toned eyeshadow palette with lots of great pastels and a duochrome in? Or not? I don't know. It's not yet on the website, so I don't know. But advent calendars and me, again, not a product I invest my money in because there's always a lot of products in there that I'm not interested in. So I don't buy advent calendars. But if you want one and you want to try loads of Elf products, it could be nice. We have Cult Gaia. They have a really interesting bag shape that they do, and they now seem to use some of those shapes in their new fragrance line, which comes, I think, with it's 3 fragrances. This could be nice. I like me a bit of fragrance. However, I haven't found anything all year that I want to put my money towards. I was lusting after some niche perfumes for a while there, and I have just found that they either don't have the longevity that I want, or I've now made that purchase, and there just hasn't been anything on the list that I would want to put my money towards in terms of fragrance. So it looks interesting. I like the shape of the bottle for sure. I would have to smell these in store to get that done, but yeah, I don't really have any fragrance as of yet that I have put on my wish list that I want to put my money towards. I have just been making my way through the fragrances I've purchased in the past 2 years, and I'm really, really happy with it. We have NARS. This is their holiday collection for 2024. It looks like a NARS collection. What more can I say? It looks like they have some stunning products in. There seems to be a cheek palette that can also be used as an eyeshadow palette. There are some lipsticks. There's some eyeshadow. There's a setting powder. That's the marbled one. Some blushes. Lipsticks. More lipsticks. There's like little sets and stuff. Of course, there's an orgasm product in here, as NARS usually does. They have some cool things in here, but it looks like every single NARS product on the planet. So, again, something you could buy from their regular range rather than buying it limited edition. Something that is making its way to me as we speak is the new Cosmic Brushes, Cosmic Beauty Undergrowth palette. So someone mentioned it in the comments the other day. This looks like the Yucca palette that we got from Natasha Denona last year. And I would agree, this looks like a stunning fall palette. It's essentially 2 rows of greens and then some warm tones. And I'm currently really into a warm tone streak. I think I'm going to love the greens long term. I've tried the Cool Trolls and Neutrals eyeshadow palette that I bought over the summertime last month, and I just love the Cosmic Brushes formula so much that when I saw this drop, I was like, oh, that's perfect for fall. I want to try it. So this is going to be in a haul in November when it is here. I bought it through MONOLITH. They are now affiliated with me, which is lovely. So there is a link in the description box down below. If you want to get 5% off of your entire order, I also have a code for you there. So check it out if you want to order through MONOLITH. Another thing I ordered through MONOLITH when it dropped was the Fantasy Cosmetica Enchanted Autumn. This is their collab with Makeup Just for Fun. Amanda, who's a lovely creator on here who's done collabs with other brands before, and I think I really enjoy her taste in makeup. This looks stunning. However, I have found that this can look like differently depending on the pictures I see, so I'm very nervous for this one, but because I love the Fantasy Cosmetica formula, I knew I wanted to try it. It seems to have both warm tones and cool tones in. So I hope it works. On the super fair skin, these shades all look like they could work for me. save for like 2 of the super warm tone things that are in here. But it seems to be pretty cool toned overall. So I was just curious, and because Fantasy Cosmetica is my favorite brand, there are just 2 palettes by them that I miss. So I was hit with this instantly. I was like, oh, I want that. I really, really want that. So I decided to bite the bullet and buy it. Beauty Creations has a collab with Corpse Bride, which again makes sense for Halloween, fall. We're going to see all the horror and Tim Burton sort of related things coming back, of course, because what's more, yeah, so it makes sense. I've never tried Beauty Creations. Do you know anything about them as a brand? I just see them in these sort of overviews, but none of their products have ever grabbed me enough for me to want to try them. Then another palette that I've purchased and it's making its way to me. I definitely have a thing for these kind of color stories at the minute. It's the Poison Garden from Bella Beauty Bar, and I have been waiting for Bella Beauty Bar to drop something that tickles an itch in me, because I tried their Smoky Glam palette last year. It was the first thing I ever bought through Monolith, actually. Because it's one of those really big palettes, and I was like, oh, there's a lot of mattes, not enough shimmers. And then they dropped this color story, and I was like, that's a fall winter palette if you ever had me. Like, it is that sort of dark, murky, grungy vibe that I love. It doesn't seem to have too many warm tones in, but it does have some. It seems to be pretty cool toned leaning. It has pops of colors. It seems to have plenty of shimmers this time. I was like, I'll give it a whirl. I'll try it. I'll take one for the team and I'll try it. It's 40 shades, so it's not as massive as the previous one, which I think was like crazy. It was like 35 or 40 shades or something like that. But yeah, this looks like it's right up my street, so that's why I really wanted to try it and see if it's any good. So that Monolith order is making its way to me. I got 4 things, so there's one more thing coming up that I got. Oh, I don't think it's in this overview. It was new to Monolith, but it wasn't new to the brand, I think. But you'll see it in a haul. Then we have the e.l.f. and Tinder collab. It's like, we needed a collab and now we're doing something super random. Was it e.l.f. that also did Chipotle? I think they did Chipotle as well, which also felt very random. So e.l.f. can do a random collab. Do I need this in my life? No. Do you need this in your life? I don't think so, unless you're very, very invested in Tinder. You could, but I don't think you need it. Milani has a new liquid blush formula. I think this is good for the brand. I tried one of their liquid blushes before, but decluttered it because it was too similar to other things I already owned. This seems to have that little sponge tip applicator that everybody has been doing ever since Charlotte Tilbury did. So they're now doing it as well. The shades, though, there seem to be a couple of shades that I might like. 140 especially. Rosalia, I think it's called. That seems to be like a darker berry. That looks pretty. The rest of it, brands need to do better blush shades, let me tell you, especially at the drugstore. So color story wise, I'm like, maybe not, but I think it's good for the brand to have another liquid blush in their collection. ABH has a new eyeshadow palette. This is the Spice 9 pan. Makes sense for the brand. I think this goes really well with the sultry and was it the Mono Renaissance that they did in the 9 pan? So it makes sense for them to continue that range. I think 9 pans is where it's at. This is very sort of Lisa Eldridge fawn-esque, so you could go with either one, it seems. It seems to be a little bit warm-toned. It's neutral. I think this can, like, go with so many people what they like. Is it right for me? Not necessarily. This is just not going to be unique enough in my collection to enjoy it. It looks exactly like a Huda Beauty palette I already have. It looks like the Sand Haze to me. So, have this already. Don't need it myself, but this will be good for someone. Makeup by Mitchell has highlighters. They are duos. They come in the compact that looks like the M from the brand. I have said that I don't like the shape of this packaging at all. It really gives me a headache, especially when you open it up. I like the fact that we do get 2 highlighters in. There seem to be some cool toned offerings that are going to be light enough for light skin, but there are also deeper toned options for people with deep skin. That is something that Makeup by Mitchell is really, really good at, is tailoring it to different skin tones. It's a super inclusive brand, which is why they're so big on TikTok. I don't love the formulas though. I've tried several Makeup by Mitchell products, especially some of the liquids in the past, and it was just far too intense for my personal preferences. So not for me, but I think if you want really impactful makeup, one, and you want something that's gonna go with your skin tone, it's a brand you can definitely check out. Fenty has a new gloss bomb sort of collection for holiday. It's a full-size gloss bomb trio. It comes with the lip luminizer in Dragon Mommy, the gloss bomb heat in Hot Cherry, and the gloss bomb cream in Fenty Glow. If you want to try the gloss bomb formula from Fenty, this is a way to do it. I love mine in Mauve Wives. It's a cream version. I think you just need one though. I think none of these shades would be right for me, but if you like your warmer toned lip shades, it could be a nice one. Essence and Catrice didn't stop dropping things just yet. They also are doing fall and winter collections. This is the Essence limited edition for fall. It is called the Bloom Light. It's a take on something they've done before. It just seems to be darker and grungier, which is nice. There seems to be a highlighter, a lipstick, some nail things. There's one of those things you can put in your hair. It feels a bit random to me, but I'll talk about another limited edition collection that they have already dropped as well. It's definitely fall inspired. What else can I say? Essence and Catrice both do fall releases every single year. This is not one I'm super excited for, but it's something they've done for years. Notoriously Morbid is now coming out with a new version of their Rusted Essence palette. This is the volume 3. Here's what the color story looks like. It looks stunning. This is a brand I have been wanting to try, but because they were so difficult to get, I haven't yet. Great news, this brand is now available on MONOLITH. So if this drops on MONOLITH, I might pick it up, but I had a look at the offering on the MONOLITH website so far, and it seemed very random to me. So it was some of the palettes that I didn't even know existed from this brand. So I'm just going to wait for the Rusted Essence stuff to drop there if I want to buy it at all. I don't know. I just bought 4 new eyeshadow palettes, so I really don't need to buy anything else anytime soon. This next palette is not going to be quite right for me, but I think it makes sense for the brand and the season we're going to. Ensley Rain is dropping the Underland collection. This is inspired by Alice, who follows the White Rabbit into Wonderland, but this is the darker, grungy version of it. So it's not the happy-go-lucky colors. No, this is the darker side to Alice in Wonderland, and I think they've tapped into it quite nicely. I like the color story. There are some like murky things in here, some teals, some reds. It definitely goes with the vibes and the colors we get in the movie as well. I don't think I necessarily need this in my life. The color story is a bit disjointed to me. Like, it doesn't make a lot of sense in my brain to have these colors in. So I don't think I need this per se, but if you love Ensley Rain, if you want something grungy from them, I think go for it. I think I have dipped my toe into plenty of the newer grungy toned offerings that are on the market right now with the order that I already did for MONOLITH. So I'm going to be leaving this one, but it makes sense for the brand. And I think if you want to try Ensley Rain and you want a more unique color story, this can definitely be it. There are definitely plenty of shimmers here, so I like the look of that. Then the actual Dior limited edition for holiday. So some of these products were also on the image that I got from Trend Mood before that I showed you already, but this is the full Dior collection. There seems to be a highlighter, some eyeshadow palettes, a new face palette. There's a new Backstage 9 pan, and there seems to be some lip products, nail polishes, one of those like lip gloss things, probably one of the maximizers, and then the 2 eyeshadow palettes that I already showed you previously. The face palette, it's calling my name. It really, really is, because I have one of these 4-pan face palette. It's the one in Universal that I have. It has 2 sort of like bronzy shades for me. At least I mix them to use as a bronzer. I think one of them is officially a highlighter, but I use it as bronzer, and then a highlighter and a blush, and I travel with it all the time. Here we get 2 highlighters and 2 blushes, and I think it will be perfect, especially that like blue lavender leaning shade. It's calling my name. It's calling my name. Let me see what this thing is called. It's the Backstage Face Glow palette in Celestial Glow. It has a pearly white, a natural coral, a rose, and a cool icy blue that has a glow of pink and violet. I want it. I want it. I don't need it, but I want it. The minute I saw this image, I was like, oh, I want that in my life. The eye palette for holiday, it looks like a spring palette to me. It's got pinks and purples. It says that it has satin, shimmer, matte, warm, and cool shades. It's called the Celestial Purple. If you like grays, purples, and pinks, it might work, but especially if you love cool tones, the fact that it has those two warmer tones in the top row, you're probably not gonna love. So that eyeshadow palette doesn't make a lot of sense. I'm going to ignore the rest of this collection, but the Backstage Face palette, I want it. I definitely want it. If this is still around closer to Christmas, because that's the thing. I did, ever since I made the purchases over the summertime from my local store, I have another €5 gift voucher. And I know that closer to Christmas, they're going to do the same, like buy 2 makeup products and get 20% off sort of deal. Ooh, but then I do want to have to pick up like another thing from that store. So it's one to keep in mind, but if I buy it, I'm not going to buy it until December, and by that time this could have already sold out. And I want to swatch it in store to see what it's actually like, but based on me liking the original face palette from this, and I'm just really digging the shades. I'm really digging the shades. So would like to get it for sure. Not sure if it's going to happen. If it sells out, I'm not going to be able to purchase it, but I would like myself that face palette for sure. ColourPop After Hours, very nicely fall-esque color story here. Do I need it? Absolutely not. Absolutely not. I was hoping we would get more Beetlejuice collabs, but Sally Hansen is doing one for their nail varnish line. And I was thinking that polish in the middle would be one of those crackle polishes. Who remembers crackle polish? I definitely had a phase. I didn't like it, so I decluttered all of them. But it just seems to be bar glitter, which is a bit boring. But I definitely think that nail polish is, again, making a huge comeback. I think that's, we saw this happening around 2008 when economically things weren't going too well in a lot of Western countries. We see it again now. So lipstick and nail polish tend to be cheaper than other makeup products, and they tend to soar in popularity whenever economic times are rough. It's apparently called the lipstick index or something like that. Like there's this whole, this was actually researched by people that this happens, that people start to buy more lipstick and nail polish when things aren't going very well. It seems to be happening again. Flower Nose has a new makeup collection. There seems to be an eyeshadow palette, some duo blushes, brushes. Does it have perfume as well? There's an eyeshadow palette. There's 3 palettes, 5 highlighting blushing duos. There's lipsticks, highlighters, mascara, liquid eyeliner, perfumes, a hand mirror, hair clips, a mug, eyelash, whatever. It's a whole thing. It's called the Butterfly Cloud Color Collection. I want to try some Flower Nose. I have a couple of things on the wish list that I think I want to try and buy before the end of the year. But it could be that I don't get to try it until like January time. It could be. Nothing from this collection is really capturing my interest, but I was gifted a Flower Nose eyeshadow palette that was on my wish list by YESSTYLE. I feel so lucky. So I will be testing this brand out, finally, because this brand was on the list the entire year as a new to me brand that I wanted to try in 2024. So it is going to happen before the end of the year, just not these products. Gucci has a holiday collection. It doesn't really seem to have a name, but there's definitely a theme going on with all of these burgundy shades it seems to have. It's got star packaging. It looks cute for sure, but I don't think I need it. And I think the promo pictures make these pictures look a lot better because of that dark background than they actually are. But that's just me. Then this was, I think, an ad that I found for a brand I had never heard of. This is the Anthemy Creatures Atlas collection. I think this is a Chinese brand. I think this is Sea Beauty. It looks stunning. Really nice, vibrant shades. It seems to have color themes though, so I'm not sure if that's what I would want. There seems to be a matte palette. There seems to be like a purple blue palette. There's a more blue vibrant with some pinks and neons, and then almost like rainbow colors with a focus on green. I am hopefully going to be trying some more Sea Beauty brands in the future, because I did place an order with YESSTYLE to try some eyeshadow palettes that are on that website, and most of those are by Sea Beauty brands. So I'm gonna make that happen, but Anthony is one I think we need to watch, because I'm looking at these color stories and I'm like, I think you can do some interesting things, and I like the packaging as well. So I definitely need to have a look at some more Sea Beauty in the future. As I mentioned, Essence has a fall collection. Catrice do one every year as well. This is the Mystic Forest collection. It comes with lipstick, cream blush, there's some nail polish, and a primer. I'm personally not going to need any of this in my life, but it makes sense for the brand, as I just mentioned. Lawless has a new limited edition collection for the holidays. It features an eyeshadow palette. There seems to be some lip things, and maybe some like face things as well. What's that? Is that a highlighter? Oh no, it's a lip duo. It's like, I think it's a scrub and a like lip gloss type of thing. Makes sense for the brand. I think Lawless is a brand you can buy only if you're in the US, so it doesn't make a lot of sense for me to be trying to chase this down. It's very basic, very neutral, which is what the brand seems to do, so it makes sense for them, but not for me. Here is the gold collection that I told you about that we would get for MAC. I do think this is different than the one I saw previously. So this is the Gift of Gold collection. It features sets, it features a blush palette, it features eyeshadow palettes, loads of lipsticks, and all of these different sets that seem to have like a bunch of different lipsticks in. MAC does this every year. And MAC is one of the brands where, from just swatching things, I can tell that the quality of these holiday kits just isn't the same as what I'm used to with MAC and the products I've bought in their standard black packaging. So with MAC, stick to the black packaging, don't buy the limited edition stuff. Here we have the new collab from Essence and Catrice. They do one every single year, and a lot of them have been Disney themed in the past. And now they're doing Pixar. So Catrice, I believe, does the Finding Nemo stuff, and then Essence does Up. I don't need this. I used to review these. It was a very popular video on my makeup channel to do these reviews for you. And the reasons why I stopped doing it was because the packaging was stunning, but the quality was always so mediocre that any of the products I tried from these collections, most of it, like 90, maybe 95%, ended up in declutters the next time I decluttered my makeup collection. So even though it made for really good content that people were looking for and the videos did really well, I stopped doing it because I just felt it made me go into a cycle of buying new stuff and decluttering it again, buying new stuff, decluttering again. And that's a cycle I try to stay away from as much as possible. So even though this would make for really good content, I know people will want to hear my thoughts, but I'm not gonna do it anymore. I've stopped doing it a while ago. These products look stunning. I think I would have a great fun time trying these out for you, but I just know that in the long term, this is not gonna last in my makeup collection, so I'm not gonna invest in it. And then something that I'm very interested in, I think it's only out in Asia so far. It's by MAC. It's the Pro Set and Blur Pressed Powder Duo. It has a white powder for a soft focus effect and a purple powder to neutralize yellow tones, to give a radiance boost. I would love to try this. As I mentioned in the video earlier, I'm on a huge MAC kick. I would like to try some of the newer releases that I missed out on. That Studio Radiance Foundation, the new concealer, and this powder would definitely be making it onto a makeup wish list. I think though that I'm gonna put those purchases into 2025 though, or maybe like end of November, December time. I'm not going to get it anytime soon. We have another Bella Beauty bar release, and I'm glad I went with the Poison Garden, even though this looks really stunning as well. I just think I would get less use out of this palette than I do the Poison Garden. This is the Vamp palette, and this is their Halloween release. I think this is pretty. I just think they're doing a really good thing here. It has a really nice vibrant red in it that's off-putting perhaps to some people, or it can draw you in. It has those vibrant purpley pinks, but it also has the grunge. So I think this makes sense for Halloween. I think you can do some stunning looks if you want to dress up like a vampire for Halloween. This is your palette. So the name is very suitable as well. It has a bunch of shimmers. This looks stunning, but I just purchased another Bella Beauty bar palette already, so I don't feel I need to get this one, and I don't think this color story is going to be quite right for me. Another ColourPop release, this is the Stranger Things collab. I don't think we're getting a new season from Stranger Things this year. I think it's not going to happen until next year. And I think this is a little late to the game. Like, Stranger Things is not happening at the minute. Like, if this came out at the same time as a new season, I would get it. But this just seems to be, like, I don't know why. I don't think that makes a lot of sense. ColourPop sometimes does these random things. The palette is a bit meh. I don't need this in my life. I don't think you do either. Pat McGrath, of course, has a new limited edition for the Christmas season as well. It comes in the red packaging that I think they did last year as well. We have another big eyeshadow palette. We have some quads. We even seem to have quintets, I should say, like the 5 pans. We have some duos. We have some lip products. It's a Pat McGrath holiday collection. What can I say? Again, I've never tried anything from a limited edition Pat McGrath collection, as far as I know. I don't think I have. I've never tried any of the holiday stuff. I just don't think these palettes are the same as the actual Pat McGrath stuff that is part of the regular range. I know a lot of people like trying these because they tend to be cheaper, but I don't think you necessarily get the same quality. It's what I've heard other creators talking about anyways, is that if you're used to some of the mothership stuff, the holiday stuff isn't exactly the same. So I have plenty of Pat McGrath already. I don't need to invest my money into this. And Hourglass has the 6-pan face palettes, but they're also doing a 4-pan, because if they can get people to buy the 6 pans, of course, they're also going to do a 4-pan. This is the ambient lighting palette, the Dream Edit. It is limited edition. It's stunning. It seems to be a little bit more matte, which I don't think Hourglass has done a lot. They tend to do it like at least a satin with most of their powders. So this will be right for some people, but I think it's very fair skin tone heavy and not quite right. And it's not going to be as universal as it may seem perhaps, which is why I like that they actually do the 6-pan palettes in 3 different levels of depth now. That new one looks very interesting, but I have plenty of Hourglass like single powders already that I don't need one of these palettes as well. e.l.f. has a glitter eyeshadow. I think they're trying to dupe Urban Decay. Maybe, perhaps. It seems to be very space cowboy-esque, if you're asking me. It definitely, even shade-wise, I feel, has overlap with some of the Urban Decay Moondust shadows. So I definitely think that's what they're trying to do here. I have already heard the first amounts of buzz about these. They look stunning. The one on the end, I don't know what it's called. I think it's Straight Fire. That's what it may be called. Yeah, I think it's Straight Fire. It definitely looks really pretty, like this taupey brown thing. It can be built up, but it can also be worn as like a sheer sparkle all over the lid. So makes sense for the brand. I think they have been doing this for quite some time now, where they're duping all of these more high-end things, of course. And this is probably going to get a lot of hype online. So be prepared to see a lot of creators talking about these eyeshadows from e.l.f. More from Notoriously Morbid. This is their Night Seer palette. I think this is less enticing to me than the new Volume 3 of the Rusted Essence. This is just a neutral with a pop of blue, which I don't really need in my life. So if I get anything from the brand, if it drops on Monolith, it's still going to be that Rusted Essence one. More Hello Kitty. They are also collabing with Wet n Wild, which, again, like I said already when I told you about the Anasui collab and Hello Kitty, this makes sense if you're a fan of Hello Kitty. If not, maybe skip it. Odin's Eye does it yet again, and what I mean by that is creating a stunning color story. This is the Eternal Twilight eyeshadow palette, and it's so wonderful. It has some multi-chromes in. It has the warm tone side with those cooler tones. It just looks absolutely gorgeous. That's all I can say. We all know that I have had some issues with Odin's Eye palettes in the past. I think they may have batch issues, which is why I'm so apprehensive of buying any of their stuff. But this looks stunning. I think I would get a lot of use out of it if it is the Odin's Eye formula that I know I like from some of the older palettes. But some of these newer things with the rectangular pans just haven't been the same for me personally. So that's why I'm a little on the fence about this. But that's, and especially that cooler tone side, it looks so stunning. But then again, I have the Merry Christmas and the Christmas Eve. And I think some of the shades in here may be the same. Maybe the same. But yeah, the minute I saw this image, it instantly drew me in. I'm like, oh, Odin's Eye, you've got me yet again with your color stories. Just yet again. And I was saying, I think in my last new makeup releases video that I was hoping that Melt would do some sort of collab this fall. And they are. It's just Universal Monsters. So it's Creature of the Black Lagoon and like Brides of Frankenstein and stuff like that. Which again, makes sense because it's murky and grungy and yummy, which is what we all know Melt does really well. And these like classic horror creatures I think also make sense to collab with. Just none of the products here really appeal to me, so good for the brand. I think it's a nice collab. I don't see myself using many of these products though. So this was already teased a while ago that Patrick Ta would be doing like a limited edition collection with these bright pinks, but now we know that it's a collab with Barbie. So we get a Barbie pink cream and blush duo, and I think there is some sort of lip gloss as well. Yeah, it's a plumping lip gloss, which makes sense. I think the brand does these things really well. I personally decluttered my Patrick Ta blush duo, not because I didn't like the quality, it was just far too intense, and I couldn't really get the use out of it. Also, the brand is incredibly warm-toned overall, which is why it's not one of my favorites. But if this is a true Barbie pink with the blue undertone, it might work. It might work. But I've tried the brand. I just felt it was a little too intense for my liking. But if you're like your boom kapow, in your face, pigmented blushes, and you want that in a cream and a powder, go with Patrick Ta because it is really good quality. And then we have some new highlighters from Sigma. This is for the Disney Little Mermaid live action. And these are two highlighters. I don't think the shades aren't listed here, but there is a really nice light shade and this like is it a blush? It looks like a blush to me, but apparently it's also a highlighter. But it will be great for deeper skin tones, I'm sure. Sigma can do some really nice things. Also, they also contacted me, by the way, and there's now also an affiliate link and a discount code if you want to shop anything through the official Sigma website, because they are also sending me something to work with them from now on. And we have Blend Bunny Skin. So Blend Bunny is going to branch out, and they're not only going to be doing makeup anymore, but they have been working on a skincare range behind the scenes. I'm personally not someone who loves it when a makeup brand also does skincare. Most of my skincare favorites are brands who only do skincare. French Pharmacy, K-Beauty, that's pretty much where it's at for me. So I'm always a little bit skeptical if a makeup brand also does skincare. So I probably won't be trying this, but it makes sense for them. It's a good next step, I think, in their brand development. Clarity Cosmetics has a new palette out. I already know that this is going to come to Monolith in October. They've already teased it on their Instagram. That's how I knew about this. This is the Angry Leprechaun. I've now tried Clarity Cosmetics and they were a little hit and miss for me. I found that the color stories were so saturated and pigmented that for my skin tone it was very, very overwhelming. So I was mentioning as I was reviewing my Clarity Cosmetics stuff, if you have dark skin, Clarity Cosmetics is going to be a great brand for you. For me, it was a touch on the intense side, so I will be passing up on this one, but I'm sure there are going to be scores of people out there who are going to enjoy this release from Clarity. And another one that I found through the Monolith Instagram is this one from MBA. This is the Wandering Soul, and save for the fact that this has multi-chromes in, it definitely has some interesting things going on. It seems to have 5 mattes in the middle, and then 5 regular shimmers up top, and then 5 more special shimmers in the bottom. So that makes it super exciting for me because I prefer shimmers over mattes. Color story wise, this reminds me of a ColourPop palette. It's not ColourPop at all, but this is not my vibe. I think this can be pretty for a lot of people, but it's not really what I'm looking for. Ilia has a new holiday collection as well. I've never tried Ilia. I would like to, but I don't know where to start with them. They are a clean makeup brand. They seem to have some really pretty blushes in here. Oh wait, it's Westman and Atelier as well. I almost forgot. This isn't just Ilia. It's a little combination. It's Ilia and Westman Atelier, because I was like, since when does Ilia these kind of blushes? But it's Westman Atelier. So I think the Ilia is the palettes, which is face palettes actually. So it's bronzer, blush, and highlight. How big do these have to be in order to get a brush in? Ooh, I think they're pretty big. And then they're doing a baby cheek trio from Westman Atelier, which makes sense actually, because I spotted them at Sephora in Paris at some point when I was there this year. And I couldn't choose what shade I would want to try from their blushes, so this actually makes a bit of sense. What kind of colors do we get? Petal, which is a dusty nude rose, Poppet, which is a poppy pink, and Mimi, which is a tawny beige. Those shades would actually work for me. So if I were to try the brand, this could be like a good like first trial thing, just to see what the brand is like. But yeah, some cheek kits, palettes, things from Westman Atelier and Ilia for holiday 2024. And then the final thing I need to talk about is this new collection from P. Louise. I just found it the other day. This is the Mini Me collection. P. Louise is one of those brands that really, really confuses me because I just don't know how this brand operates. I now have their eyeshadow primer that I would like to try, and some people gifted me some of their cream blushes and bronzers, which I'm going to test out in the next couple of months. So I now have the brand and I can try it out to see if I like it. But I've now also found some people on TikTok who say their products expire really quickly. So not sure. They're just a brand that releases thing after thing after thing, and nothing truly ever captured my interest. So I'm not the only one. This doesn't scream buy me to me, but it can be right for some people, and maybe that's you. Maybe you like the look of this palette, these brushes. I think there are some face products in here as well. I think it's actually like a suitcase, and then it has all the products inside it. So it's an entire set, it seems, from what I can tell. It is available right now in case you were interested. So those were the 49 new makeup releases that I had to chat about to you today. It was a lot, so I hope I wasn't too rambly. I will be back with a new video like this next month at the start of November. As I mentioned, anything that I'm missing in the week between me filming it and posting it will just be pushed into that video. There was just so much already announced. I was like, okay, I need to sit down and film this video so I can show you this at least, and then we have a bit more again perhaps to talk about in November. So thanks so much for joining me again today to chat about some new makeup releases. Let me know what your favorite release is in the comments down below. And did you purchase anything? I would love to know. You already know what I purchased and what you can look forward to in a haul very, very soon. But you see those bits in November as well. So thank you so very much for joining me. Thumbs it up, subscribe, and I hope to see you in my next one. Bye-bye!